Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to speak with us about data-driven copywriting. I'm Jenna. I'm a content marketing manager here at Anyword. And with me, I have Dan Schwartz, who is the VP of Sales here at Anyword. Dan, thank you so much for joining me today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, Jenna. It's always fun.
Yeah, I'm so excited to start. So first, let's jump right in with what is data-driven copywriting? Why should we care? Why is it significant? How can we benefit from it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think in order to understand that question, we need to start with understanding the problem. And that's pretty easy to illustrate because if you go back to the 90s, everyone kind of suffered from the same thing, which was an inability to really get powerful data to understand the desires of your audience, right? So, back in the 90s, really the best you could do was maybe focus groups, right? Or census data. Does my audience want pink lipstick or red lipstick this season? It was a bit of guesswork. By about the early 2000s, realistically around 2005, a lot of tech companies started rolling out with really powerful data platforms that suddenly gave us insights into our audience that we never had before, right? And today we take that for granted. If you're an SEO specialist, you check your scores every day. If you're an e-commerce shop owner, I mean, you live in Google Analytics. But if you're a copywriter for, marketing or performance marketer, where do you live to write that copy, right? What data are you pulling from? And it's pretty wild to think about the fact that in 2001, we spent more money on Google and Facebook ads than ever in history. But the ad copy that we were putting that money behind was mostly just guesswork. And to kind of illustrate that point, I have a little slide that we can do. So for everyone hanging out today, if you can take a look at this, we have two copy variations and we have a toy. This is a scooter. If everyone would like to take a moment to take your guess best between which one of these is most likely to drive engagement with the intended audience. So if you want to put one or two in the chat, I'll give you a few seconds to start making your best guess.
We're getting some twos so far. Two.
All right, I see that they're coming in the chat. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and check it out. If you guessed one, you're right. And if you guessed two, better luck next time. And the good news is next time is right now because I have another one of these and they're fun. Okay, so we'll just do one more of these. This is another children's toy. Again, we have two copy variations. If you'd all like to take a look at the copy here and take a thought about which one of these you think is the more powerful copy variation, the one that's more likely to drive engagement, one or two, let's have it.
We're getting a mix here. Lots of twos again.
Okay, let's take a look. I see a bunch more popping in there. This time, if you guessed two, you were right. But the truth of the matter is, Jenna, it really doesn't matter if you guessed one or if you guessed two, if you were right or if you're wrong, because either way, you were just guessing, right? And that's the core challenge we're talking about here. The problem is, for the copy we're writing, we really don't, as marketers, have any data to work off of beyond vague data. And then the copy that we write based off of our assumptions about that audience. So real quick, to kind of answer what data-driven copywriting is, data-driven copywriting is leveraging massive data sets to enable us to make accurate predictions about the potential of any copy variation to drive engagement and create sales based on the historical success of similar ad copy that's run in the past. And that's really what it is. It's a hugely powerful tool. And just like the world changed back in 2005 when Google rolled out Google Analytics, that's kind of the thing we're looking at again. This is sort of the final piece of the marketing puzzle, bringing data and data-backed insights into the copywriting part. That's sort of part one of your entire marketing funnel. Again, if you're thinking about everything you're doing in your marketing funnel, that copy is, at the end of the day, the very most important thing. So having the insights to be able to make better decisions about what the kind of copy you use and put out there, it's just critical. It's a no-brainer, and that's what that is.
Right. So it really takes out the guesswork of writing copy. Now you got to know how well this copy would perform. So Dan, how did Anyword come to identify this problem in the marketplace and come to solve it?
Yeah, great question. So we have another side of our business that we've been doing since about 2013 as a Facebook promotion company. we have the enormous privilege of working with hundreds of publishers and managing their budgets end to end. So some of our clients on that front include the BBC, Axios, Daily Mail, the New York Times, even investor in our company, Condé Nast, the Washington Post, National Geographic, just to name a few. And we manage their budgets end to end on Facebook. And we've struggled with the same problem ourselves for years. You had to find the right messaging and you get it right. All right, we did it. And now we need to do it again. How do we do that, right? That challenge comes up over and over and over again. Around 2015, we started collecting collecting data sets. That's grown significantly with time. And we started developing internal tools to help us make better decisions about the kind of copy we use. And that was a huge breakthrough for us. We started seeing significant increases in our conversion rates and just realized this is something that's a big deal and needs to get out there.
Yeah, so besides the data-driven copywriting aspect of it, we might have a lot of freelance copywriters in here who aren't necessarily connected to the number side of it, although the companies they're working for definitely are. But they might not be seeing that side of things, right? And they might just be working with several companies and have different deadlines to meet for blog posts or all sorts of different projects. I've worked as freelance copywriter before, and a major challenge I've had is writer's block. Like sometimes you're not even an expert in the topics you're being asked to write about. So you're taking time to research it, you have this deadline, and you're just staring at a blank page. So how does Anyword solve writer's block? Because I know it's incredible for that as well.
Yeah, that's a great question. So Anyword at its core is an AI-driven copywriting engine. And what that means is that the system is capable of writing not only short-form copy like ad copy or product descriptions, but also long-form copy like blog posts or landing pages in seconds. It's infinitely creative. It never runs into writer's block. And again, it's leveraging those massive data sets from the start to craft better, more powerful copy that moves your audience. I mean, realistically, working with Anyword, the sort of blank page syndrome, writer's block is completely a thing of the past.
Yeah, and also on Anyword, you can generate as much copy as you want. You can continue to generate, which you'll see. So Dan, let's jump into Anyword. Let's see if we sign up today, how we can benefit from it, how it works. Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look. All right, so this is the tool itself. And in here, we have several sections that you're probably going to want to know about. So the first tab is Data-Driven Copywriting. These are tools that leverage data in some way to craft powerful copy that moves our audience. Looking through these, we have an ad writer, which will write for all of your different ad platforms. Landing pages, 3 separate tools. So we have a new landing page writer that'll craft the copy for a landing page, SEO meta description for all my SEO people out there, and an automated A/B testing platform called Continuous Optimization that will dynamically and in real time optimize the content on your site based on user traffic behavior and bring a 20 to 30% increase in your conversion rates. We have a product description writer, social media post writer, email writer, and an SMS writer. And we're going to take a look at a couple of these today. Basic copywriting are tools that seek to sort of help with generating ideas. So getting rid of that writer's block challenge. And then finally, the blog writer, it's just that it writes full blogs itself. So why don't we go ahead and do like a Facebook ad to take a look at how the system functions. And let me just clear out everything we have in here to start with. Now, I fished around and found these shoes. I need to get my wife a new pair of running shoes, and I thought these were great. So we'll be using them as an example today. Now, since we're talking about shoes, I'm going to go and say my industry, in this case, is women's shoes and footwear. We're selling a product, right? And now I can enter a description of this product myself, or I can simply paste in a URL, and our system is capable of not only writing copy, it's capable of reading as well. So by giving it this URL, it's going to read over the page, and it is going to craft a description of this product for us, sort of a product brief, if you will. And it's done just that. I can make any edits that I want, but let's go and create our project. Now, templates are our ability to shape the copy. So these are sort of tones of voice, if you will. And right off the bat, we have a lot of different copy variations to work with. And all of this copy is 100% original. And Jenna, like I mentioned to you earlier, it's infinitely creative. So if I click generate more, I can do this indefinitely, and I can even do it in 25 different languages. The user interface here is super easy, and that's a theme we're going to see a lot. I can make any changes I want in line. I can save the variations that I like best. Those get saved over here. And I can even export those to CSV. So if I want to share them with a client or with my creative team, I can do that really, really easily. We also have the option to have keywords if you want to add any of those. A lot of different formats in here as well. So list is a list format. It's going to be a bullet pointed format, really great for Instagram. PAS is pain, agitate, solution. That's a problem solution format, solution being your product. And ADA is attention, interest, desire, action framework, which is a particularly engaging copywriting format. That's that bullet pointed format we were talking about, that list format. So again, great for Instagram. But one of the things you probably noticed by now is this number running along the side. This number is our predictive performance score. And as simple as it looks, it's actually leveraging a massive algorithm that took us forever to build and looking at a data set of over 2 billion conversion and engagement metrics to tell you with a 76% accuracy the potential of any given copy variation to drive engagement. And I think, as everyone saw earlier, when we were taking a guess at just 2 little copy variations, that's hard. In fact, the average person is lucky to get to 20 or 30% accuracy. So 76% is pretty huge, but we go a step further because if I click on it, it'll expand. It'll tell me what age range it's most likely to be effective for, what gender the tone of voice is. It'll give me information about the benefits, features, or pain points highlighted in my copy. And we even have a channel policy safety system in here. So I'm sure a lot of folks who are posting on Facebook and Google know that it can be really easy to step on the community guidelines and get your account in trouble. So this is actually plugged right into the community guidelines of Facebook and Google, and it will alert you to any potential violations you might have and keep everyone out of trouble. So that's the predictive performance scoring system and everything you're getting in there. I'll also show you that we have Plus Custom, and this is an incredible feature because it lets you create your own custom templates and more targeted way address your audience. So you can speak about specific pain points of your audience, specific benefits of your product or service, or specific features of your product or service. We even have Avatar, which is like a persona. So for example, we could say like teenage girls. We could say teenage girls as a persona, and then we can craft copy around teenage girls. The system will consider what that audience is, what their age range is, what their gender is, and what's most likely to be of interest to them based off of these data sets that it has, and craft copy in the tone of voice that's most likely to resonate with a young woman. And as you can see, the copy is now, it feels young, it feels fresh. Again, we have our predictive performance scoring on all of these, and it's definitely shooting for a younger tone of voice and more feminine. In the ad writer, we also have a rewrite functionality. So you can take like your best performing Facebook or Google ads or whatever ad writer you're working with and do rewrites on your own copy. And then Power Mode is the system's ability to learn your unique brand voice. And you can create as many of these as you want. These are all examples that we've created, so you'll just have plus new in there. But by leveraging this, you can imitate brand voice. Or if you're an agency, you could, for example, create one of these for each of your clients that has a unique brand voice. We've created one here called Clickbait. It's like 4 to 5 word short QT sentences with emojis on the end. And what you're going to see is now all the copy is going to kind of come back as this clickbaity, short, fresh kind of a deal. So we'll see that in 1 second. But again, this could be a more mature voice that you could create. You could do it any way you want. I'll also highlight here that the emojis are on topic, which is pretty killer. Awesome. So I think in terms of another tool we can take a look at, let's have a look at the blog writer. I'm sure that a lot of people here probably are either in the SEO world or maybe you're a freelance copywriter. And this is a really great tool that you can leverage pretty much on your day-to-day. So we need a topic to write about. So maybe everyone in the chat wants to give us some sort of topic that we could talk about and create our blog for. So if everyone wants to just think of something that you want to talk about, it could be haircuts for your dogs, or it could be something more specific go ahead and write it in the chat. And then Jenna, if you want to take a look at some of the options and give us a good one, that'd be great.
Yeah, Deanna wrote dog care. So that's
Dog
a good
care?
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Software design we have. Apartment lifestyle and cleaning, medical grade skincare, clean beauty industry. So Dan, you go for it. You can choose.
Right. Well, I took the first one you gave me. We
Okay,
could have
cool.
done any of those, but you gave me dog care first. So I just wrote in here what you need to know about caring for your dog. Realistically, I just need 5 words to get the system rolling. Let's see if I have pets in here. Pet supplies. Let's just go with pets. And I can put any keywords in here as well. So, for my SEO, if I want to plug in some keywords in here, I can do that. Now I'm basically done. The system's going to do everything else for me. Now it's going to suggest a series of titles for me. And to give you an idea, Jenna, the system's read about 10 to 15% of the internet. So when I gave it a topic to talk about, it's looking at its database of knowledge and saying, what do I know about caring for dogs, right? We have a lot of new titles here. I like how to prepare for a new puppy. That sounds fun to me. And it looks like we have a pretty good score on it too, so I'm feeling good about it. Now the system will suggest an outline for our blog. We can always add a section, we can delete a section, we can make any edits that we want. Yeah, this looks spot on. Again, I can make any changes that I want here, and I will mention as well that any changes you make will affect the copy that the system crafts. It's actually reading what you write. It cares about you, right? Okay. It's now going to suggest 3 introductory paragraphs to us. We can always write our own. I'm not sure why. We can generate again, and we can make any edits to the options we get. And I'm going to go with number 3. Okay, so we now have our title, we have our introductory paragraph, and we have each of our sections. And I can go in here and I can simply select how long of text I want to write on. So I'm going to go for long because I am here to show off after all. And I'm going to let the system fill out this this paragraph. And I'll mention I can write multiple paragraphs too. Once it completes one paragraph, if I click continue, it'll write a second, third, fourth paragraph. For the sake of the demonstration though, I'm just going to go and kind of do 1 paragraph per section so that everyone can see kind of the breadth it's able to talk about. I will mention as well that all the copy is 100% original. That's super important when it comes to SEO, obviously. We even have a plagiarism checker in here as well. And this is my process. I'm able to simply go through, craft each and every single one of my paragraphs, and then start editing. The other thing I'll mention, Jenna, is that this is an 80% tool. And what I mean by that is you will still want to go in here and, put in some of your brand or maybe shape some things up. But if you consider that the average blog takes 6 to 7 hours to write, what we're now looking at is half hour to an hour of editing work. And that's what it's going to do for you. And again, we do have a plagiarism checker. So we've done 749 words. I think it took us about 1.5 minutes. I can now copy it out. I can paste it in my whatever word editing tool I use at Microsoft Word or Google Docs, and I can fine tune it and we're good to go. Now, there are a lot of other tools in here, but maybe what we'll do is we'll just do a quick product description. And then if anybody wants to see more of the tool or how they can leverage it, I will mention there is a 7-day free trial right off our website at anyword.com. And of course, you'll be able to, I think Barry, who's hanging out in our chat, is going to be putting the link to our contact information. So you'll be able to reach out and set up a demo with us as well if you want to kind of dig in some more. Okay, so now we need to actually do a little bit of work for our product description writer. I'm going to stick to shoes, so I'm going to call it pink shoes. And I can provide the system with as little or as much information as I want. But for my pink shoes, I'm going to start putting some bullet points about shoes. So again, if anybody in the chat wants to start telling us about maybe what features or what these shoes look like, or any facts about these pink shoes that you can throw out there, that'll be great. And then Jenna, if you can let me know what kind of shoes we're talking about, that'll be great.
All right, let's see. You guys, what qualities do you want on for these shoes in this example? Long wear comfort. That's a good one.
Okay. All right. Well, we know they're pink.
Stylish, right? We know they're pink.
Stylish. Okay. Stylish is good.
Water resistant. These are great, guys. Thank you.
Good shoes. I'm gonna go with lightweight as well.
Yeah, lightweight. That's good.
Anything else, Jenna?
Nothing else in here yet. Oh, breathable.
Okay, breathable. And
perfect. Are they sneakers or sandals? What should we do?
Nobody knows. We're gonna find out. And let's see. Let's just say we'll just say great price. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
All right, so we've got a couple bullet points here. I think that's good enough. Now, I think we can all agree that the amount of information we've given is pretty bare bones, right? I haven't really done a lot. So I'm just going to go ahead and pretty much let the system do the heavy lifting for me. I can do keywords as well. We also have feature list functionality here as well. So if you just kind of want to get a list of features, you can do that too. Okay, so there we have it. As you can see, this is a much better description of these pink shoes than I provided it with. You can take a look at these yourselves. And again, like everything that we looked at, this is one of our data-driven tools. So we do have the predictive performance score running along the side here. I can click on that. I can see what age range, what gender it's most likely to resonate with. And I can also see what features and benefits are being highlighted here as well. And I have my channel policy safety system. So again, Jenna, there are a lot of other features and tools that we could take a look at. But as I said, we're happy to set up any kind of meetings with anybody afterwards and take you through the product ourselves. So I'm going to stop right here and I'll let you take it forward from here, Jenna.
All right, awesome. So you guys, here's your chance to ask any questions that you have. I know we already have some great questions that have been asked, so let's go ahead and go through some of those. But in the meantime, you guys continue to write questions in the Q&A as well. All right, so your first question, Dan, where does the platform pull data to generate content? Like, is it safe? And then they wouldn't want to get Google blacklisted. So you can, so explain that.
But okay, so yeah, that's a great question. So first of all, the system has read about 10 to 15% of the internet. So it has a massive database of knowledge that it's able to pull from. When it's making decisions about the kind of copy that it writes, its first step is to understand sort of the context or question or subject that's being spoken about. So for example, when we did the blog writer, we gave it the topic of, pet care. And then it went about and said, well, what is pet care anyway? And then it went researching pet care. And that was sort of its process to provide us with it. The copy is 100% original. You're not going to get blacklisted on Google. And it's also completely safe. I mean, the system's not going to be writing about, I don't know what. And anyway, obviously, you'll be the one who's controlling what copy actually goes onto your website. So, I mean, as long as you're being smart, you're going to be 100% fine.
Okay, awesome. Someone asked, can you add pictures for the blog?
Yeah, that's a great question. The blog is currently text only. Of course, you can take it over to whatever editing tool you use on a regular basis and add your photos there.
Okay, cool. And also, once you edit your blog in your whiteboard, like you can play with around the structure and everything more, and then you can go ahead and like later add the pictures too, just to that. Okay, and then this other question's also referring to blog posts, and it says, will this filter misinformation?
So in general, the system is very, very accurate. That being said, I would caution, right? This is your web property that you'll be putting this content on. It's your responsibility to review that content and make sure that it's in line with your own personal sensibilities. I've not seen it ever do misinformation. Theoretically, I suppose it could happen. We do have a lot of filters in place to try to make sure that doesn't happen. And they're very, very good. But still, I would say you definitely want to make sure you review the content yourself and before you post it on your site.
Okay, awesome. And then can you talk about plagiarism? Does it have a way of checking against previously created material?
Oh, that's a great question. First of all, yes, absolutely. There's a plagiarism checker in the system. I didn't click on it just because we were kind of rolling through the example. But yes, there's a plagiarism checker. But the truth of the matter is the plagiarism checker is there almost as like a comfort feature, because the system by its very nature, the way it functions, is actually almost incapable of writing the same thing twice. So I won't try to get too technical, but just to give you an idea of what that process looks like. whenever the system is presented with a subject or question, like I mentioned earlier, its first step is to contextualize and understand what it's talking about. It then looks at its database to see what it knows about that topic. And then it begins a process of guess the next word, if you will. So, for example, we're talking about dog care, and it'll say, what will be the logical first word in a sentence about dog care? And maybe the logical first word it guesses, if you will, be the. And then it'll read what it wrote, look at what it knows, and then guess the next word after the. So the first, right? Or whatever it might be. And then it'll do that over and over and over again, building each sentence by reading what it wrote previously and then guessing, if you will, the next word. And because it engages in that process every single time from scratch, it's literally almost incapable of doing the same thing twice, which is hugely advantageous because you can literally take the same blog topic. We could have taken that dog care blog topic with the same title, even if we wanted to, and just rewritten every single one of those paragraphs a million times, and we would have gotten a million different paragraphs. That's really one of the great value adds of the technology itself, is just its ability to write 100% original copy every single time.
Yeah, like every time I've used it too, I do check the plagiarism thing, and it almost always, that actually I've always said 100% unique. So that makes sense.
Our plagiarism checker will flag like common expressions, like a needle in a haystack, and it'll say, "Oh, I found this on this website over here."
Right.
I mean, you said a needle in a haystack. What do you want, right?
Yeah,
But
exactly.
the copy is 100% original, and the plagiarism checker will show that.
Okay, amazing. So this question, is there a way we can kind of suggest a number of max characters we'd want?
So my assumption is that that question is probably about ad writing would be what I would think you're going for. You can't suggest ad characters, but the tools are limited by word. So for example, if we did the Facebook ad writer, right? And so Facebook actually has a soft limit on the number of words you can write. And so the system can kind of write more copy. If I had done the Google ad writer, for example, you would have seen much shorter sentences. You would not have seen like the paragraph, you would have seen one or two sentences because Google has much stricter word count. I don't remember the exact number on it, but yeah, each of those ad writers is limited by word count. So just make sure you select the right ad writer for the platform you're writing for, and it's going to restrict the amount of word to the appropriate length for you, making it easier.
So here's another one. When used for Amazon, does Anyword follow the guidelines? Like number of characters, for example, amongst other things? Yes,
Yeah.
you said yes. All right, cool.
Easy one.
Yeah. Okay. How does Anyword compare to Jasper AI and other platforms?
Yeah, wow, that's a great question. So first of all, there are several tools out there, obviously, that do the AI copywriting side of things. And that's the problem that you mentioned, Jasper, that all of those companies solve, just the writer's block problem. Now, Anyword solves that problem too, right? We talked about that. But the truth of the matter is that's not necessarily the most interesting problem to solve. The real interesting problem is, how do you craft copy that drives your business forward, that drives engagement, that's meaningful, that resonates with your audience? These tools out there can write lots and lots of copy, and then you're just stuck with that problem, but times 100, right? If I have to choose between two copy variations, I'm doing poorly enough already. But if I have to do 100 of them, well, now I'm really in trouble, right? How do I know what to choose? Our focus is different because we're focused on leveraging these massive data sets to empower the marketer or the user behind that platform and enable you to make better decisions about the kind of copy you decide to use from the very beginning. So if your main goal is just to write copy, yeah, you could do a lot of different tools. But if your goal is to craft copy that resonates with your audience, that moves your audience, and that grows your business, it's only Anyword. I mean, there's no one else out there that's doing that. There's no one out there that has the experience that we have or the data sets that we have to enable that. So that's really the big differentiating factor.
Yeah, and also like if you remember the predictive performance scores, they give you all the information about how well your copy would perform, which is the whole data side of your copy, right? Like that's the point ultimately.
Yeah,
okay.
It's what's the bottom line is, what's your goal? Do you want to write copy or do you want to grow your business? Like, do you want you want more higher conversions, more engagement? What are you looking to do? And my opinion is, and I think pretty much everyone that I speak to, it's the engagement and it's the conversions, right? That's why we're writing copy in the first place.
All right, awesome. Another question here is, do you work with agencies?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. We work with a lot of agencies for sure. We have a lot of agencies leveraging our platform. And if you want my prediction on it, Jenna, in the next 5 years, there won't be a single agency worth their salt that isn't leveraging data in some way before they put any copy out there. It's just not going to happen. It's like having an e-com site that doesn't look at Google Analytics. Give me a break. You know what I mean? Like nobody does. And in the next like 4 to 5 years, it's going to be the exact same story. There's not going to be an agency out there that's putting a single thing out there that they haven't looked at big data statistics first about that copy's potential to succeed to make that decision. And Anyword's leading that charge. I mean, that's really where we're going, and agencies are just lining up for sure.
Do you work with local languages and dialects?
I guess it depends on which languages. So again, the system writes in 25 different languages. I'm not sure which dialects we're referring to, so I'm going to have a hard time answering that. But of course, you can always go on the free trial. It's a 7-day free trial right off our website at anyword.com. You can sign up for that and look for yourself. See if those languages meet your specific needs. Yeah.
So if you guys have any other questions going forward, you can always reach out to us, or if you want to schedule a personalized demo. And we also have an amazing Facebook group if you guys want to join the Facebook group, and you'll just have more resources and just some valuable information as well in there, and just be part of our community. So thank you so much for joining, everyone. We're really excited, and you'll hear a follow-up from us as well.
Awesome. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you, Dan. Thank you, Barry.
Absolutely.
Thanks, everyone.